This report unveiling the economy of the occupation is groundbreaking. And in fact, it has led me to be the first UN person to ever be sanctioned by the United States because, as someone says, I've poked the bear in the eye, threatening the global economy that underpins some of the most abominable violations of international law. How it's possible that while Israel was destroying Gaza and the economy of the country, Tel Aviv Stock Exchange kept on growing and amassed over $200 billion in over 600 days. It's incredible because there were people profiting from what Israel was doing. Let me go back to the basic. Settler colonialism, which is what Israel is and does in the little that remains of the occupied Palestinian territory, Gaza, the East Jerusalem and the West Bank, taking the land, taking the resources, displacing the native population, the Palestinians. It's not, settler colonialism has always been underpinned, sustained, accompanied by private actors. What is shocking here, that is still happening in the human rights era, while we have had the flourishing of the international human rights system, norms and mechanisms. Why? Because the private sector, businesses, but not just companies, tend to escape the control, the ruling, the oversight that the international human rights system has set up. Over 57 years, without even looking at what Israel has done in historical Palestine, Israel has been helped and has relied upon the private sector to displace and replace the Palestinians. How? Because in order to displace them, to take the land, to secure the land for the settler, Israel used arms manufacturers from Israel and from outside Israel. It has used the surveillance technology, the confinement tools that were needed to segregate the Palestinians by using construction companies and materials, from the uprooting of olive trees, the destruction of homes, and then the construction of the carcerality infrastructure, the gates, the segregated roads, the checkpoints, and so on and so forth. These has been used to displace the Palestinians, and once the Palestinians have been displaced, another pillar made of different components, and this is even more colorful and articulated, of private actors has come into play. Businesses have helped Israel build colonies, water infrastructure, electricity grids, roads, trains, not just to connect the colonies to Israel, while segregating, further fragmenting, incarcerating the Palestinians. And of course, the first pillar was interjecting, because at every attempt of the Palestinians to protest or just to conduct their life, they've been facing with violence, with weapons, and all what it has entailed. Of course, Israel has also set up, as part of the replacement, businesses. There has been the supply chain getting into this. It has produced vegetables, beauty products, pharmaceutical products, and all industry has flourished by exploiting the water stolen to the Palestinians, the other resources, the quarries, the land, the fossil fuel outside Gaza. And, by also exploiting the Palestinians, forcing them into a captive economy. And these would have not been possible without the enablers, without a full circuit of actors lending legitimacy. So we are not just talking of businesses per se, but universities continuing to partnering with Israeli universities, but also doing research, like the Center for National Research in Italy. I've engaged with them. They say, but we do neutral research. There is nothing neutral in dealing with an unlawful occupation, and everyone should know that. But everything has been normalized of the Israeli occupation, and pension funds and banks and a variety of actors, including charities, have kept continuing this pretense of the Israeli occupation being business as usual, the United Nations as well. Because after 70 years, if you're not part of the solution, you might be part of the problem. And this is something, if we don't look into ourselves today, at the moment, Israel is really starving and genociding the Palestinian population. We are doomed to fail as a humanity.